What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz the man. I'm excited to be back on another nighttime edition episode. Love these, love y'all. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching my videos, and thank you for your support. So I was talking to my boys again the other day, and we were just talking about the red flags or the things that the situations or relationships that almost happened but didn't come out to fruition because of some things that the woman did. And it was interesting because we came up with like a whole collection of things, but I want to pinpoint on a few of those and present them to y'all because you know the channel is all about understanding the mind of men. And I was talking with my guys, and I'm gonna share it with y'all so that y'all can avoid these things and maybe bring some light to reasons why, you know, you've probably been left on scene or your dating didn't work out or whatever. And before I start, make sure you subscribe to your boy Sealz the man. Thank you. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all those good things, and I appreciate y'all once again for coming back. So let's get into it. The first thing that makes men think twice about dealing with you is your treatment of your children. Now, the reason why your treatment of your children is so important in the mind of a man, it is because your children is the most precious thing to a woman. Your children is what makes you a mother. You created this thing, even if it wasn't with him. You created this human being, this little version of you. So if you treat these precious human beings, these precious children, in a bad way, what makes you think you're going to treat him in a good way? But the crazy thing about this is that you see this situation all the time where the woman is treating a man better than she treats her children. There is no way a man can allow that, be in a situation or relationship with a woman who treats him better than her children. And you see it all the time. Children only have their parents. Children only have their immediate family. That's all they know, and that's all they have. While the adults have friends, they have, you know, associates, they have coworkers, they have a whole bunch of people that they can reach out to for anything, for help, support. But children only have you. So to treat something that is so dependent on you wrong, that gives a huge red flag to men. So when you're disrespecting, belittling, abusing, cursing at, yelling at, screaming at little children, that scares men away. Because if you don't have respect for your children, how are you ever going to respect me? And how can he possibly respect you if you don't respect them? There's levels to respect. All right, so let me go to the next thing that makes men think twice about dealing with you, which is the respect of yourself, or the treatment of yourself. How you treat yourself says a lot about you, more than you think. And it's not always physical. It's not about what you wear or what you put on. It's mental. It's verbal. How do you talk to yourself? How do you talk about yourself? That could be a turnoff to a man if you're talking negatively about yourself all the time, like calling yourself stupid, or calling yourself desperate or lonely, calling yourself a bad bee. A lot of times those turn men away because most men don't want to hear that. They want to get to know you, not what you present to other people. Because a lot of times most of the things we say about ourselves aren't even true. You're not stupid. You're not a bad bee, but we are not those things. Give yourself a break. Be fair to yourself. Love yourself. When you love yourself, you don't say these things about yourself. No, I'm not stupid. No, I'm not crazy. I'm not none of those things. But when you say these things out loud and on repetition, and he's hearing you, and if he's not about those things, that will turn him off. And now he's never going to speak to you again. Be positive about yourself and show that positivity to him. That's one of the healthiest ways to attract. And that is being healthy to yourself. The next thing that turns off a lot of men, which makes them think twice about dealing with you, is being misjudgy. Judging the things he likes, judging his hobbies, judging everything he does, judging all the decisions he make, criticizing his family and relatives, criticizing his friends, critiquing everyone and everything but themselves. Misjudgy. That will make a man think twice about dealing with you, because no one wants to deal with that, especially when you're not looking in the mirror and looking at yourself. Judge yourself. Because if you judge yourself, you will realize judging all these other things is wrong, man. If you are not going to help these people that you're judging, then you should probably be quiet. As a lot of mothers told their children, if you have nothing nice to say, Don't say anything at all. It is a very toxic trait, and a lot of men do not want to be around that. It is negative, man. I'm trying to get to know you, and you worry about everything else. What's good with you? And another thing with judgy people is if you're judging all of these things, if you're criticizing and publicly criticizing all these things, what makes me think that you're not talking about me when I'm not around? And it also leads to not being able to trust you because you're running your mouth. You're just publicly and outwardly speaking about people. You don't know their story. You don't know what they're going through, but you have to make your opinion known. And it's a negative opinion. Nobody wants to deal with that, man. Not even a man wants to deal with that. Your friends don't want to deal with that. Family don't want to deal with that. You don't want to be ostracized by your loud mouth opinion that don't help nobody. So this is something that they brought up. A judgy woman. And especially the ones who don't judge themselves. Another thing that they brought up that made them think twice about dealing with certain women was a woman who downplayed or challenged his masculinity. Oh, you ain't no man. Yo, man up. My last man did this for me. What are you doing? You're useless. You're not doing enough. You're not making enough money. Now, those are real quotes. Not only told to them, but I've heard of some of them myself. Because everyone has their own definition of what a man is, right? Some women base masculinity on the amount of money or possessions that a man has. Some women define masculinity on how much labor a man does. There's all these definitions of masculinity out here. But if your definition of masculinity disrespects who he is, then it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because you are going to lose this man. If this man is trying his very best to be the very best for you and it's still not good enough for you, you feel like you have the right to disrespect him by telling him he's not a man because he's not man enough for you? That ain't right. So if you see yourself challenging or downplaying a man because you don't feel like he's a man for you, then he's just not for you. Move on. But never try to disrespect someone. Everyone's different, man. Everyone is different. So we have to remind ourselves to remember that and not disrespect a man or disrespect anyone because they are different. And the last thing, this is pretty big, that makes a man think twice about you or twice about dealing with you are unwarranted jealous tendencies. You get mad at him because he's talking to a woman, or you get mad at him because a woman liked his picture. If you trust this man, then you have to be 100% in that trust. You cannot be on the fence with your man, especially when it comes to trust. Either you trust him or you don't trust him. Because what being on the fence does is create insecurity. Being on the fence means you're 50% trusting him and 50% not trusting him, or something close to that proportion. But it's not good enough either way. Because if you're 50% trusting him, that means you're telling him you trust him, but on the inside you don't. If your man has never gave you any reason not to trust him, you have to put your all in something. You either don't trust him or you do trust him. And whatever the case is, y'all need to communicate about it. I understand, trust is very hard, especially if you had your trust broken. But when it comes to relationships, you put your all in or don't do it at all. You either love this man or you don't. You either respect this man or you don't. You either trust this man or you don't. Whatever your decision is, y'all need to talk about it. Because when you don't talk about it, you have these little petty, insecure moments, and they are never good for your relationship. If you're having any questions about something you're not sure of, even between me and her, ask me. Because if I am a true man, I am going to tell you the truth. I'm going to talk to you about it. And you'll be surprised what talking does. How it diffuses so many issues, because most of our issues are made up. Our imaginations can run wild, especially if you're on the fence of trusting your significant other, right? So let's talk about it. Don't push away your man. Don't make your man not want to deal with you because you are insecure, because you are on the fence about trusting him or not trusting him, because you are giving off jealous tendencies, unwarranted jealous tendencies. If he never gave you a reason not to trust him, why aren't you trusting him? And that could dive into a deeper thing in you. And that doesn't mean you're wrong, but it might mean you have some things you need to confront on your inside based on your past experiences. Because you don't want to bring those demons from the past into your healthy, present relationship. Huge mistake. All right, so hopefully y'all like this video. Hopefully this video helps bring light to some situations in y'all homes or in your relationships or whatever, man. I just hope it helps. But thank you for coming back to my video, and I will see y'all on my next video. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.